Yay. Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday, November 22nd. I'm so excited that you are here joining us today, whether it's live or watching us on a replay. I am Mickey Preventer, and I am a co-founder of Conscious Life Collective, and I am so excited to be having the conversation today about vulnerability, loving with an open heart, and just grace, grace with yourself and patience right now, especially in a season of our lives with so much uncertainty.
Good morning, everybody, and happy, beautiful Sunday, wherever you are, whatever time you're plugging in, whether you're watching it on replay or you joining us live, welcome. My name is Julia Bernatsky. I am the founder of Untamed Hearts and the co-founder of Conscious Life Collective. With me. Yes, as Mickey said, we're going to have an amazing conversation today. We have a guest who is joining us in the moment, and there's some technical moments, as we always have, often during the time of Zoom. The moment that we need to make work, and Michael is joining us in just a moment. And in the meanwhile, I want to invite everyone who is listening live or is joining us on a replay. Think about, what do you want to put in stake for yourself for this moment, for this broadcast, or for this week, or for this year? I often do that, and when me and Mickey, when we work and when we do broadcasts, we always decide, what do we want to create out of this energy that we generate during the broadcast or experience or the event? And I'm just going to share with you what we said, and then you decide and think about it for yourself. So what we said, that we want to allow ourselves to have our open heart with grace and ease, live our life with open heart, and at least broadcast, at least for this week, at least for this month, to be more and more conscious of opening our hearts and allowing ourselves being vulnerable. And Michael is here. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi. And for those of you who don't know Michael is a Kabbalah teacher and a spiritual teacher, and our guest for our Sundays Consciousness and Energy Connection of the week. So we're always thrilled to have Michael.
Thank you.
We just shared, Michael, just to catch up, we just shared with our audience that we are talking about the power of vulnerability and the power of the open heart. And being in the energy of the months we're in, like this is such a perfect opportunity to allow ourselves to be open and to be vulnerable. So
Totally.
I'm going to pass it to you.
Thank you. So it's a very special month. I love the flowers, Julia. It's a very nice addition.
I love it. Yeah, my boyfriend brought me 3 bouquets of flowers, and so roses are in front of it. So I was very happy.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Sharing.
So, yes, we are in a very special time. First of all, we're approaching, astrologically approaching the Great Conjunction, as everyone probably heard, which is on December 21st. So we are exactly a month away from it, which is a very special time when it says that whatever path you're on, you will be propelled into that direction even more so, like 10 times more than you were before. So if you were on a path of spirituality, you're going to excel and fly into that direction even more. If you were on a path of no spirituality, totally 1%, closed off, and etc., then that's the direction, sadly, you're going to be thrown into. So it's a great time to revisit ourselves and see, how we're doing and where we're going and what's happening with us. And this month, as we set the theme for this month, it's all about opening of the heart. which is something, one of the main tasks of the sign of Sagittarius. Anyone born under that sign, they are the last of the fire signs, and they're the wisest of the fire signs, and they're the philosophers and the thinkers. They're all about ideas and thoughts and philosophy, etc. This is what they go after the most. And their mission, one of their missions in life, is all about opening of the heart. Is all about bringing what's here, the amazing information we're able to collect, receive, and understand, and reveal, and bring it into their heart, bring it into their soul and consciousness, so it becomes a part of them, and learn how to open their hearts to other people, to themselves, to the Creator, to the universe. And obviously, one of the most important thing of becoming, it's like the kind of like an opposition. Like, in order to be stronger, you need to be able to be more vulnerable. If you're closed and keeping everything inside and not sharing your vulnerabilities, you're actually making yourself weaker. Right? People think the opposite. No, I need to pretend that I'm strong. I'm going to show my power. I'm not going to show my weaknesses. I'm not going to show, things that are difficult for me, because then I'll be seen as weak. But actually, that's how you become stronger. You become stronger by being more open, by being more connected to your true self. And actually, the way to be more complete and whole is by opening up, revealing what's inside of you, revealing your whatever you want to call it. If it's not really, people assume that it's a weakness, but it's not a weakness. It's actually your strength. It's actually the way you will be closer to the Creator, is by opening up and exposing the areas of your life, of your soul, of your psychic, of your conscious, that is difficult for you. So it's kind of like counterintuitive. We're brought up with so many different beliefs from society telling us that this is how life is, right? That this is how a human being should be. And the most important things in school were not taught. We're taught in school a lot of information, right? A lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, not understanding. But we're not taught about how to be a happy human being. And in order to be happy, you want to be as open as you can possibly be. Because what happens ultimately is the things that you hold inside as, as with fear of opening it up to the world, eventually it's going to actually somehow weaken us. So that's what's really going to happen. And we want to change the way we look at vulnerability. We want to see it as something fun, as exciting. We want to, I have an amazing friend in Los Angeles, and he is just an example of an open person. Literally, something happens, something he experiences, immediately shares it with the world. There's absolutely almost no, in a completely proactive, normal way. It's not in a reactive, but totally normal, totally beautiful way to express. And he's like an example for me about being open. That it just, like, whatever happens inside, immediately it becomes he doesn't hold it inside of him, which is such an amazing quality to have. So again, and everyone is different from where we are, what our vulnerability level and how our emotional intelligence is also. But it's a road worth taking and discovering and finding out, okay, so this is what I think, what I label as something that's weak, something that's not strong. But in reality, I want to change. It's up to me to change who I am constantly, right? There's absolutely nothing making you who you are except your own consciousness. Nothing. The way you are right now and who you are right now is determined by one thing and one thing only, and that's you and your consciousness, nothing else. We accept a lot of labels that people give us. We accept a lot of, the way society perceives us and other people, etc. But it's up to me to accept it and to allow to say that, yes, this is who I am. But in reality, my ability to be someone else is infinite. I can be anyone, I can be anything, I can be literally anything I want to be. And that all starts from here, from the consciousness. And I really want to emphasize that all of us are able to recreate who we are, especially in terms of being open and vulnerable human being, whenever. It's basically like, this is the moment your life starts right now. And in the next 10 seconds, your life is going to renew. And in the next minute, it's going to renew. So who do you want to create? Who are you going to be? The choice is all up to you. And yes, society hasn't given us a good understanding or education, system, etc. None of them gave us like an easy way to understand how to be vulnerable, etc. Maybe we had parents who were able to do that. Some didn't. It also depends. It's not a lottery game. Obviously, it's all connected to our soul's journey and purpose, because each and every single one of us has a different evolution and a different process. And we choose the parents we come to. We choose the environment we come to. And it's not a random act, or it's not like a lottery, like, oh, let's see who you're going to get as a parent this life or environment, etc. No, actually, your consciousness, your soul said, you know what, I'm picking this scenario specifically to help me achieve a certain level. Because in order to achieve a certain level, you have to be overcoming something, growing, evolving. It's not easy for us just to become wise, just to become open. We have to have that process of something going against us, kind of. So when we have that process of something going against us, that's what kind of motivates us, and that should motivate us and mobilize us and say, okay, you know what? How can I be better in this scenario? How can I be a better person? How can I grow from this? That's our ultimate question. That's our ultimate question that you can ask in any situation, in any scenario, is how do I grow from it? And don't hurry with answers. The point is not to find the answer right away. The point is just to ask a question. The point is that your consciousness is tuned on to the direction of growth, of finding out what can I extract, how can I use this for my benefit. So that states a few things. First, it states that it is good for me and that it will help me grow no matter what. So it's already a positive affirmation. And then you will actually find what it is that you can use from the situation to help you grow. So it's a beautiful setup, right? So vulnerability, we assumed it as something that's labeled as weak. However, in reality, it's something that should be looked upon as a very, very big strength, probably one of the strongest things that you can have. And I like how we set up these weeks with Julie, that we setting it up as the thing that you can grow from the most this month, because it's something that's not natural for this month. This month is all about good luck, adventure, fun, philosophy, understanding, etc. All these very intellectual things and activity, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of exploration, a lot of, movement, etc. They love movement. They love to be active. But the one thing that really helps them be the highest and the best version of themselves is having an open heart and having vulnerability. So vulnerability, what tips can we give about vulnerability? It's obviously something that should start with yourself, right? You need to be vulnerable with yourself. You need to understand, okay, you know what? Yes, these things, these aspects in my life are something that I can work on. And I can be better in these areas in my life, in a relationship, with myself, in my health, in my work, whatever it might be. I can be better in there. I can be better in those areas in my life. So it starts there, obviously. It doesn't necessarily start with somebody outside, because the first person you have to report to is yourself. So you want to start with being vulnerable with yourself and accepting and kind of reassessing and understanding that, you know what, here on this area of my life, I'm here. In this area of life, I'm here. You're kind of putting an assessment of where you are. And then the next step is thinking, how open am I about those things? Because if you really want to change them, the moment we express something that's inside of us that we think is limiting, the moment we express it and put it out there, it actually stops having such influence on us, which is very interesting, right? We think that if we'll say something, it's going to be stronger. But actually, it's the opposite. The moment I express and I open up and I say, for example, you can be very dependent on how you feel throughout the day, a moodiness kind of. So if you have that and you're opening up about it, then you will be able to be much more conscious about that situation in your life after that. Instead of keeping it inside and saying, oh no, I shouldn't tell anyone, that will make me look weak, that will make me look, like I'm no good, right? So it's a beautiful start. The first step is really to be vulnerable with yourself. And then after that, you want to maybe find a safe group, a person who's, open enough and loving enough to hear you, just to hear you really. There's no need to give you feedback or so. And also, and when you're listening to someone, you want to help others be more open, help others be there for another person and see that it's not about giving them feedback necessarily, right? If somebody comes to me and tells me, oh, I have an issue with my relationship, etc., it's not my job as somebody who's listening to immediately come and tell them what they should do different. Sometimes it's just to listen. So that's also, we're always learning on both sides. First is to become more vulnerable and to learn to be more vulnerable with other people. And then when another person is vulnerable with me, how do I take it? How do I receive that? How do I support them? It might not necessarily be to immediately give them tips and, ways and like, this is what you need to do. I know how to solve all your issues, right? So it's a beautiful art that we can learn from both aspects of the spectrum.
Yes, it is a beautiful art, and it truly is an art to be present to a person and to be able to listen and to reflect it into your life and have the courage to open your heart and have the courage to be vulnerable and to be real with the world. And I just wanted to say that from my personal life, probably most of my life, maybe for the past 15 years of my life, I started to realize and learn how to be vulnerable. So I'm getting very good at it, I believe. Not always, but much better than I was. But I remember that I felt like I'm in the prison because in the past I felt like that state of being when you cannot only because you don't give yourself permission, tell anybody. And you live like in the prison, and it's like you live life that is not real almost. When you're so taken by something, by some event that you can't share about it with anybody, and that can't is truly your judgment on yourself. It's not the reality. But then being internally free and being able to live your life like you can say anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say everything. But having that internal freedom / being open heart, being vulnerable enough to have the freedom to say it if you choose to is a powerful thing.
Yeah. And not let it define you as an ultimate, as like a stamp of that's how you are, that's who you are, a label. To understand that you are, every single one of us is an evolutionary entity that's constantly evolving, right? We can constantly recreate ourselves, and the more I am aware of who I am, the better I understand who I want to be, the easier it's going to be for me to be in that evolutionary process, right? Of not just being set as I am this person and that's it. No, you are whoever you choose to be. That's who you are. You're constantly recreating yourself. Do not allow other people, the society's labels and boxes that people have to be placed on you and make you this entity, and that's it. No, And don't blame them for it also, because it's only up to you, me, and everyone else to define who it is that you are.
Yes, and I just wanted to add one more thing about how we teach our boys to grow up, right? Like in the old traditional way, men don't cry, right? Like going back to like you have to be strong, you don't cry, and then boys are being told like don't show your feelings and don't cry. Very often, even these days, like no, don't cry, men don't cry, and I always felt, and my son, right? I brought him up actually telling him that it's okay to cry. It's good to be in touch with your feeling. And I think this is the beginnings. It's these seeds of allowing yourself being vulnerable. So I'm just inviting us, those of us who have boys as our children or like in our lives, allow them to experience emotions and teach them how to be connected to their emotions. Because in a normal society, in the movies, in the marketing, in schools, boys don't cry, and then they're not in touch with their feelings, and then they grow up and all of a sudden they have a girlfriend or a partner, and they telling them, you don't know how to express your emotions. So it's like you cannot win this in this situation. So all I'm saying is like, let's allow our kids and let's teach them how to be in touch with the emotions and how to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. And it starts in the childhood.
Totally. Well, it starts with us.
With us, it starts with
Right?
us.
If a parent will understand and will learn and will just have there's such like small ideas, but they cause so much change, right?
Yes.
If the parent will have it, everything will be different. The child will not just be hearing it, but will be seeing it. Will be experiencing it, right? So that's a big difference also. Because this is, and yeah, totally.
Yeah, ability to express yourself in personal life, in the workplace, during the big meetings when it might be intimidating, but your idea needs to be heard, and people so often don't express their ideas during the I come from corporate world, and I know that sometimes people are intimidated, and it's the same thing. They're afraid to be vulnerable, and they're afraid to look or to be perceived as someone who is either weak or not smart, so they kind of like hiding it. And it could be the best ideas and the most needed ideas that are not allowed to be born.
Yeah, and you know what you just said, this whole idea of like looking weak,
Yeah.
looking like you have a weakness, like it's such a horrible thing, like everybody's this, we want to be strong, and that's a beautiful idea from Rav Ashlag, one of the founders of the Kabbalah Center, a great Kabbalist. He said, we all want to be, strong, wise, brave, because those are the attributes of the creator, right? That's how the creator is labeled. But it doesn't say anywhere that having not reached that is bad. Who came up with this idea besides society to say that being emotional or weak sometimes is a bad thing? Who said that? Would Arnold Schwarzenegger be the person he is if he thought that I'm the strongest man on earth just because? No, he realized, I want to be, but I'm not. So I'm going to go through a process of evolving, right? Of evolving and becoming that person who I want to be. But don't accept the labels that the society is trying to place on us. That's a huge thing. And also don't blame the society, because it's up to you, me, and everyone to accept who we are, who we create ourselves to be.
Yes, and one more thing that I really wanted to bring up today, my friend and mentor Nitzan, who is helping a lot of people to heal, said to me once that the healthiest people expressing their emotions, and sometimes it looks messy, and I'm not inviting everybody into the argument, but sometimes it is a confrontation, and sometimes it does look messy, and the healthiest people are able to express emotions and express their feelings and not being afraid what's gonna, like, how, they're not caged into God forbid, I'm going to look vulnerable or weak if I say
Right.
that.
Doesn't look perfect.
Or doesn't look perfect. Yeah, perfection is another layer of that. So I'm here, like, I'm going to say I would drink today if I was drinking today for the vulnerability, and I would drink for expressing our emotions. And
Amen. Me too. I'm with you.
I would go for it. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to add, let's do a meditation.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did want to add some things that this week is these couple of weeks are all connected to it. All about we're still having a lot of energy of soulmates coming together. So if you're looking for someone, or or finding out who you would want to be with, this is actually, the universe is assisting us right now. So there's a lot of energy of soulmates reuniting. So I would highly recommend to study something about it, to learn more about it, about relationships, about, so it's a lot of this energy right now of souls coming together. And another very present kind of energy this week is about dreams. Is about seeing dreams, is about having visions in our dreams, receiving messages from our dreams. So this week has these two really, really special gifts. So if you are in a relationship and want to improve it, this is a great time. If you are looking for someone, this is a great time to learn about yourself, obviously, because relationship is all about first finding you, first finding your soul, and then finding the other, the part that could add on to that, but it doesn't complete you, because we need to be complete beings on our own. But it will assist us in being happier, but it doesn't complete us. That's a very, it's a contradiction. This idea in the wisdom of Kabbalah called mati velo mati. And the dreams. So if you go before you go to sleep, if you want to ask for a message, if you want to ask for the universe for guidance, etc., this is an amazing week to do that. So make sure you take that opportunity. And Julia, unless you want to add something, we can do our meditation to bring all this energy, all this consciousness that we share, and to again bring it from our mind, from our consciousness to our emotional center, to our heart. So our heart is open, our heart is giving. It doesn't have any fears, it doesn't have any resentment, just love. Awesome. Okay, so let's start with our meditation. And we want to be in a comfortable space. You can be sitting, standing, that doesn't really make a difference. You just want to be comfortable. You want to be relaxed. You want to make sure you're changing your breathing from your upper body to your abdominal, to your diaphragm, not using your chest, neck, or shoulders for breathing at all whatsoever. This causes the most back pain, neck pain, headaches, and stress. You only want to switch your breathing to your abdomen. And we want to take a deep breath. We want to center our consciousness in our heart. And we want to send our consciousness to the middle of the earth, the core of the earth that has infinite amount of the light force of the Creator. And we want to pull and send this energy from the bottom of the earth and feel it come from our feet all the way to our knees, our thighs, our body, opening up all our energy centers. Our hands, our neck, and our head, all the sphirot, all the chakras are being opened and filled with new energy. And we want to see how this energy pops at the top of our head and forms a beautiful ball of light. And then we want to pretend that we are in this ball of light. Pretend that you're in it, and then see how this ball of light starts to elevate above your body, above the building you're in, above the city you're in, above the continent, above the planet, and traveling faster than the speed of light, beaming through the entire universe, going to the edge of the universe, and going through the edge of the universe, going through layers of light, progressively getting brighter and brighter, and eventually coming to a very bright layer of light. And then we go to a golden layer of light, golden, soothing, relaxing. And then we go to the next plane that feels like jello or thick water. And then we want to see an opening in the distance of iridescent, beautiful light. We want to approach this opening. We want to go through this opening and enter the plane of the Creator, a beautiful, tingling, pearl-like, iridescent light. And we want to be going even higher and higher in this space, this energy. It's just pure energy. There's no shapes. There's no colors. It's just pure pearl-like white energy. And in here we have an ability to recreate ourselves at whatever way we want to be. So we want to observe as our ball of light melts and becomes one with this energy again. So we want to receive a definition, the Creator's definition of what is an open heart, what is vulnerability, to be vulnerable with ourselves, what it means to be vulnerable with ourselves, what it means to be more open with ourselves. So if you want that, say yes. We also want to receive this download, this understanding perspective that we are constantly creating ourselves. It's up to you and me to constantly create who we are, what we are, where we're going, and what we are made out of. So if you want this download, this God-like ability, this birthright that we all have, if you want to receive that, activate that, what it feels like, what it means, what it feels like, and what it is, and that it's happening to you right now already, say yes. And we also want to receive the positive sides of this month. Again, the adventureness, what it means, and how to be more adventurous in our life, in our everyday life, how to have a great positive adventure every day and every moment of your life, and how to have more luck, how to have more luck follow us around, and how to really be discovering and exploring things on a both physical and conscious level. So if you want those downloads, say yes. And of course, we also want to, the thing that we always want to connect to, and every day we want to function and remember, is the unconditional love of the Creator. So if you want to receive this unconditional love of the Creator, say yes. If you want to send it to your friends, also meditate on them. Meditate on the world, on our beings, on human society in general. So if you want that, say yes. And also we want to know how to determine and how to receive messages for our dreams, how to receive insights directly from the light force, from the positive forces in this world, from the light, from our guardian angels, etc., how to receive messages in our dreams. So if you want that, also say yes. And before we open our eyes, you want to rinse yourself in this beautiful energy. Watch yourself being filled up with this energy again. And open your eyes.
Thank
Awesome.
you. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Michael and Nikki, and everyone who joined us live or is watching us on replay. It's a beautiful meditation, and I'm going to take it with me this week, but also if you're watching it on YouTube, you can sign up for our channel so you know you get alerts. We are going to meet you again on Sunday, next Sunday at 12. If you know of anyone who can benefit and who would enjoy watching this broadcast, please share it with them. With that, I'm sending you so much love to you.
Amen. Me too.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing week.